CTV News at 11:30 with Ian Campbell and Rick Wyman with weather.
Well, good evening. Thanks for staying up with us. We begin in Sudbury tonight, where one person has been taken into custody following a robbery earlier this morning. It happened at the Quickway at Elm and Beatty Streets before 11 a.m. One person was injured and taken to Health Sciences North with non-life-threatening injuries. Investigators brought in the K-9 unit, which was able to track the suspect to a home on Elm. Again, they are said to be in custody. No word yet on charges. Improvements appear to be being made in the downtown core. That's according to new results from the North Bay Police following the opening of a hub on Main Street. CTV's Eric Tashner reports.
Since the opening of this office space as a downtown police hub, businesses have noticed more of a police presence along Main Street.
The violent crime or really big crimes were down in the downtown area, and it is not the unsafe place that people think it is.
From October 30th to November 15th, North Bay Police conducted a survey of downtown businesses to assess the perception of the downtown police office and its impact on community safety in the core. 47 businesses responded, and the results indicate that merchants continue to experience challenges related to aggressive behavior, loitering, vandalism or graffiti, and shoplifting. And that while these issues persist, respondents noted some improvement compared to the previous year.
We recognize there's still a lot of work to be done downtown, but this is reassuring for us to let us know that our efforts, the officers' efforts, them going out every day, is being recognized, and it actually is making a difference.
Most downtown merchants are aware of the police storefront. The survey pointed to participants feeling a greater sense of safety in the core, citing increased police visibility, improved communication with law enforcement, and faster response times.
I know when I answered the survey, I had put in that I think signage would be helpful because some people don't realize it's down here.
The survey found 78% of responding businesses support the downtown police hub, and they are offering suggestions for its further enhancement.
It'd be lovely to see permanent, but I don't think we're at that time to make a decision either. But maybe a full year would be helpful.
My hope is that, yes, it will continue, but we want to make sure we do our due diligence and make sure we're doing the right thing with the investment we're going to make downtown.
In the first half of December, there were just over 100 calls for service in the downtown. A majority of the calls were related to social disorder. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Meanwhile, the North Bay Police Services Board is reporting a $1.7 million budget surplus this year. At this morning's meeting, board members voted to send a majority of that back to the city. Police Chief Darrell Longworth says the savings were found during bargaining while filling some vacant positions and from revenue that the police agency was able to access through grant funding. The city will get $1.25 million, while the remaining $450,000 will be put in the police purpose reserve account.
This is a consistent thing we've done over the last 3 years with the surpluses we've had. We've given that money back to the city, recognizing that came from the taxpayer. We'd like to support the tax base in giving that back while being also fiscally responsible.
Down the line, Longworth says he would like to see that reserve somewhere between 5 to 10% of the police operating budget for any unforeseen expenses. Well, a traffic stop for speeding turned into a drug bust over the weekend near Powassan. 2 people from the Greater Toronto area were pulled over Saturday around dinner time, traveling 30 kilometers over the speed limit. Police noticed an unsealed container of cannabis in the vehicle. During a search, provincial police found what they say is suspected cocaine, oxycodone, along with cash and other items. They now face several charges. North Bay Police conducting a 2-night traffic enforcement initiative on Lakeshore Drive after the speed limit was recently reduced to 50 kilometers an hour. This is not the first time they've done speed enforcement on this stretch of road, adding it's common to find drivers speeding during the recent blitz. Officers tagged 22 drivers for speeding and impaired drivers. Ontario Minister of Education Paul Calandra posting a video to X this afternoon, laying the blame for construction delays of the new school in Parry Sound on the board. He was also showing the conditions students are currently learning in at the old Parry Sound High School.
Right now, half of the students are learning out of moving boxes. Teachers are hauling supplies from an overstuffed gym, and kids are learning in a half-demolished school instead of the modern school they were promised.
The video echoes a letter he sent to parents in the near North District School Board during his visit. Calandra toured the construction of the new school and says in his letter, based on my visit and an assessment of the project's process, it has become clear that the new K-12 school will not be ready to open before September 2026, adding he understood this was disappointing news, but assures parents the ministry is taking strong action to get it back on track, including a project manager to oversee and be accountable for the remaining construction. Calandra also talked about students from Whitewoods Public School in Sturgeon Falls who were displaced recently due to a classroom fire. He says they would only be at Northern Secondary School temporarily, noting students would be back at Whitewoods after the holidays. A warning tonight from the Ontario Hospital Association about a dramatic rise in the number of influenza cases across the province. Their statistics show flu cases are higher now than in the past 3 seasons. CTV's Janice Golding has more.
Flu shot isn't something everyone's interested in.
Are you going to get the flu shot this year?
No. I already got the flu shot.
Yes, I got my flu shot.
No, I don't think so.
But if you haven't been vaccinated, doctors are asking you to reconsider.
It's been very severe, very fast so far this season.
Saying Ontario's hospitals are seeing a serious rise in influenza, particularly in the very young and the very old.
I've seen countless cases now, thousands and thousands of cases of what I assume to be influenza A in the clinic. The children that are getting the most sick with it, the kids that are ending up in the emergency room and admitted to hospital, by and large, are children that are not vaccinated.
According to Public Health Ontario, last week, the daily number of confirmed patients with the flu was up by 150%. Hospital admissions were up 84%, and ICU admissions had increased by 127%.
This has been a really heartbreaking reminder of how severe the flu can be.
While the numbers aren't yet available for this time period, to contextualize, the week before there were more than 3,000 reported cases and close to 550 hospital admissions. People we spoke to had varying reasons behind their vaccination decisions.
But I've noticed in the past when I don't get the flu shot, I tend to get more sick if I get the flu.
If it happens, it happens. Yeah.
I mean, you just practice hygiene, and I think you should be okay.
But doctors say the flu shot, which is developed to cover multiple strains, remains our best defense against severe illness.
There's been a lot of media recently that the flu shot this year is not a good match for the current strain of influenza. While it may not be a perfect match, it is absolutely going to decrease how sick your child or your baby might get from the flu.
In the meantime, they're asking people to take extra precautions this holiday season.
We know that the flu spreads in close contact. And what do we do during the holidays? We see each other, we go to each other's houses, hug and kiss, etc.
Safety precautions they recommend include washing your hands regularly, covering your mouth and nose when sneezing or coughing, staying home when you're sick, and complying with mask mandates at hospitals. Janice Golding, CTV News.
The 3rd floor of Sudbury Science North is getting a makeover. CTV's Lindsay Alick has more.
This exciting project.
Science North 3rd floor hasn't been updated since 2011, and thanks to FedNor funding, 20% of the floor will be redone.
Today we announced $650,000 for Science North, and we know how important Science North is as an economic driver to our community, both as a tourist center, as an education center, as a teaching and learning center. So it's important that we provide our support to Science North. They've been here now for 40 years, which is just incredible and hard to believe. So it's important that they continue to evolve.
The project, titled Woven by Water, will modernize and connect the 3rd and 4th floors with a multi-level play structure and a series of exhibits that explore the intricate and vital relationships between water cycles with a focus on Indigenous learning.
We often hear from our visitors that they're looking for full body experiences, especially for our older kiddos who are coming through our doors. We have our amazing toddler area, but they really need something for kids their age. And so this climbing structure, they will physically be able to use their whole bodies and climb through this structure that looks and has sort of the artistic qualities of a stream coming down from one floor to the next.
In 2024, the center said goodbye to Beaver Cache, and LaRose says Bluecoats knew they had to do something with this space.
As our understanding of captive beavers has increased, we understand that they really do need to be more social together, and simply our existing infrastructure doesn't allow for multiple beavers to be located within the Science Centre. So how can we make sure we're still honoring that heritage in a way that feels right for us, and at the same time create a new experience for our visitors?
Science North is currently replacing all of these windows, and LaRose says once that project is complete, construction can begin on the 3rd floor, with the hopes of having the new exhibit open sometime in 2028. Lindsay Alex, CTV News, Sudbury.
Well, if you're planning on a Sudbury Wolves game, a Sudbury 5 game, or maybe it's just a concert, some big changes are coming to parking at the Sudbury Arena. The 271 spots in the area outlined in red will soon become unavailable, according to Sudbury Wolves Sports and Entertainment. It all has to do with prep for the event center construction. It'll be barricaded as of January 2nd. As a result, the city plans on adding additional space at the theater center, as well as the CP lot on Elgin Street. Transit will also be offering free bus rides for ticketed events. An early Christmas present for snowmobile trail riders in Timmins. The local snowmobile club reports there are a number of trails open, but only in a limited capacity. CTV's Lydia Chubak has more.
Officials with the Timmins Snowmobile Club are feeling blessed by Mother Nature.
Well, it's actually the first time in 16 years that we have them available before Christmas.
Fortin says it's meant a little bit more work for the club's volunteers to get trails ready for snowmobilers.
So people have to realize that all this is volunteers that build these trails. It's only the operators that are paid, and they're even volunteers, some are volunteer operators. But at the end of the day, without the volunteers, and especially without the permissions of the landowners giving us permission to go on their land, we wouldn't have these trails.
Fortin advises people that some trails are open in a limited capacity, and it's important to always check the OFSC online interactive trail guide. A few weeks ago, it was anticipated thousands of kilometers of snowmobile trails would close in Ontario until the province came through with $3.9 million in new funding. Officials with the Ontario Federation of Snowmobile Clubs had indicated trail permit revenues were not covering the costs of trail maintenance.
The only thing that we struggle with is obviously expenses. The expenses, the fuel cost and the equipment is much more than it used to be. But we struggle, but at the same time also we strive.
Fortin adds the early snow this fall boosted trail permit sales province-wide. According to the OFSC website, more than 41,000 trail permits were bought before November 1st, making it the largest early season sales total in OFSC history. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
Time now for a short break here on CTV News. Coming up, we'll have your full weather forecast. For now, a look at the weather warnings we have in place tonight. A lot of happening here. I can tell you the yellow area is a freezing rain warning, a flash freeze warning. It is pretty slick. We were just in Elliott Lake earlier tonight. Please be careful if you're hitting the roads. The orange area, a winter storm watch beginning Wednesday night into Friday. 30 to 50 centimeters is possible, and that will continue on for a couple days. Here's a look at the current weather. There is a lot happening, but we're hovering in around zero. We'll have more coming up in just a moment.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Mixed precipitation in the forecast for Northeastern Ontario over the course of the next couple of days. Forecast radar, let's have a look. Some of that pinkish tinge indicates some freezing rain, freezing drizzle. We also have some rain, some snow in the forecast, and some big changes in temperatures over the course of the next couple of days. Here's our look at about 5 o'clock Thursday supper time. Then the big change, it will get colder. Let's take a look at some of those numbers now. Sudbury Nickel Belt. For tomorrow, flurries and squalls, 0 your high. Thursday, rain snow mix at 3. Then the big change, we have a high of -5 with snow on Friday. Then the temperature will drop significantly to -19. Chance of snow Saturday and Sunday, -5, -9, and -8. Some sun and cloud in the forecast. to start off your work week, and the countdown for Christmas will continue as of Monday as it gets really serious for the kids. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, a couple of flurries for tomorrow. High of -1, 3 degrees, rain snow mix on Thursday. Friday, some snow. Saturday, some snow. Then it gets colder, of course, by Friday, -18, -14. The overnight lows, chance of flurries on Sunday, and the chance of snow come Monday with a high of -4. Timmins Cochrane campus casing snow tomorrow 2 to 4 centimeters, -8 your high. Snow on Thursday 0, dropping down to -13. The -23 overnight on Friday with the snow. Chance of snow Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, some sun and cloud. A look now at Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, flurries for tomorrow, +1 your high, snow and rain. The mix on Thursday at 2. More snow on Friday at -3. Big change in temperature there, dropping down to -22. Some snow Saturday, -9. Chance of snow on Sunday, and some sun and cloud come Monday at -8. So you'll see a drastic change in the temperature by Thursday. North Bay, West Nipissing. Showers and flurries for tomorrow at 0. Rain snow mix at 5 degrees. 2 degrees at night as the temperature actually drops just a few. Back up to +1 Friday with the snow. Back down to -18 overnight. Saturday, Sunday, chance of snow, and Monday again some sun and cloud. So Ian, again, some big changes coming to the forecast in Northeastern Ontario. All kinds of conditions and a big change in the temperature. Back to you.
Thanks, Rick. Well, a Sudbury artist is turning the page on a new chapter of his career. But before that happens, there's one more door to close. CTV's Angela Campbell has his story.
John Stopsiati makes sure this original painting is well packed for transport. He'll have to do this for every piece inside his Sudbury gallery.
They are all part of the blood, sweat, and tear artistic endeavor.
The well-known Sudbury artist is preparing to permanently close his Apple Grove gallery and framing business. He's been in this location for the past 15 years, with the gallery existing for almost 4 decades.
It's a bit emotional. 38 years running a gallery, but you're looking at a cross-section of about 40, 45 years. It's a lot of history, a lot of recording, and, you know, a lot of memories.
Stopsiati operates the business with the help of his wife, Barbara, but at 79, he says he's ready to focus solely on painting from his home studio.
It was difficult, but we were fortunate. And I sort of milked the system at all ends, whether it be through originals, prints, framing, so I had to do a lot of extras in order to keep things going.
Stopsiati has a large collection of work. Many are landscapes from across Northern Ontario, with Manitoulin Island a particular favorite of his. And some of his Indigenous originals are framed with deer hide he colored and stretched himself.
I worked with 4 different mediums, but in the last 10 years, I've gone more to the oils. It's more manipulative, but it also enhances the painting more than the other mediums.
John and Barbara both say they'll miss the people who visited the gallery over the years.
First thing they say, I never knew you were here, because we are the best kept secret in Sudbury. And when they look around and they say, oh my God, and we do have a lot of repeat customers come back.
That best kept secret in Sudbury will be closing its doors December 18th. But Stopsiati originals and prints will still be available on his website. Angela Campbell, CTV News, Sudbury.
Canadians continue to find new places to travel instead of the United States. It's a trend likely continue into next year. CTV's Pat Foran spoke with 2 travel companies, and they have their top picks for Canadian vacation bookings.
When it comes to Canadians choosing to travel to U.S. destinations, Flight Centre says its bookings were down substantially in 2025, and it expects that to continue into next year.
We're down close to 40% year over year in travel into the U.S.
G Adventures, a company that specializes in small group adventure travel, has noticed the same trend.
While our bookings in the United States are down, it doesn't mean that Canadians are traveling less. They're simply choosing different destinations.
So where are Canadians going? According to Flight Centre, there has been a huge increase in interest to travel to Turks and Caicos, St. Lucia, Japan, Colombia, and Switzerland. Many people are looking for good value and are willing to travel further and stay longer.
We've seen an incredible increase to somewhere like Japan, where their dollar does stretch a bit further. Places like Australia, the Canadian dollar is stronger than the Australian dollar. So Canadians, once they get there, they feel that they can really stretch their dollar.
G Adventure says its top destinations for next year include Peru, Morocco, Costa Rica, Thailand, and Japan. It's also finding travelers want to vacation when it's less crowded.
People are trying to avoid the kind of over tourism. So they're choosing to travel during quieter times, so it's not quite as busy. And they also save some money doing that as well.
And more people are also choosing to go on trips by themselves.
We're really popular with solo travelers. Female solo travelers are our largest demographic.
Both companies say most travel spots are filled for the upcoming holiday period, but many people are booking fun in the sun trips for January, February, and March. Larger destination vacations are being booked now for next summer. Pat Foran, CTV News.
And with many Canadians choosing not to travel to destinations in the U.S. over the trade war, Ontario Premier Doug Ford was asked about the boycott and if he would be going down to Florida as he usually does.
It's going to be the first time I'm not going to Florida, but I talked to so many people. Don't let this guy, Trump, determine and ruin your life and everything. That's my personal choice. They're hurting down there right now. They're hurting on all fronts. They're hurting on their economy. President Trump is at the lowest rating that any president has been in the first year, and God knows probably 100 years. So it's taking effect.
And that caught the eye of Florida governor and one presidential candidate, Ron DeSantis, who took a shot at Ford on social media, saying, actually, we continue to break tourism records and win Stanley Cups. That, of course, is a reference to the Florida Panthers eliminating the Toronto Maple Leafs on their way to a second straight Stanley Cup championship last season. Still ahead tonight on CTV News. A special honor for one of Sudbury's most iconic play-by-play broadcasters. Stay with us. More after this. The Toronto Maple Leafs honored longtime play-by-play broadcaster Joe Bowen of Sudbury as they took on the Chicago Blackhawks tonight in Toronto.
Holy Mackinac! Holy Mackinac! Holy Mackinac! The Leafs have won it!
Holy Mackinac Night celebrated Bowen's more than 4-decade-long career as the voice of the Leafs. Bowen has called more than 3,000 games, by far the most of any broadcaster in franchise history. Before this season began, Bowen announced the 2025-26 campaign would be his last. The Sudbury 2026 Polar Plunge date has been set for March 7th in Ramsey Lake, with donations going toward the Special Olympics. The community coordinator for the Special Olympics in Sudbury says the 50-50 tickets and 2 Chicken to Plunge donations will make an impact to athletes in Sudbury and Ontario. The donations will help offset the costs of food, accommodations, and uniforms.
It's about $3,500 an athlete to go. So yeah, it helps to have extra money, right? And helps the community gets billed. I think it's $1,400 for this one. So the athlete at that point has to pay half of that. So each athlete has to pay $700. So, and on a, I don't want to say salary, but on a budget that they live on, because of ODSP, the majority of them are on, is like $1,000 a month. Yeah, subsidizing is a major good thing.
So far, a few people have stepped up and said they are taking the plunge, like the chief of police and Josh and Coop from Pure Country. We asked some of the athletes if they planned on joining them in the water.
Are you wanting to do the polar plunge this year?
No, I can't swim, but I'll be there.
No. Maybe. I'm not too sure yet. So if you're too chicken to plunge and you don't want to freeze for a reason, then come on out and just support it.
The 2 Chicken to Plunge fundraiser lets participants have a rubber chicken take their place in the freezing water, which allows them to support the group while having a chance to earn prizes. Well, Ontario has unveiled its annual list of the most popular baby names in the province, and some familiar names continue to claim the top spots. Let's take a look at the most popular girl names in 2024. Topping the list for the 16th year in a row is Olivia. Charlotte and Sophia round out the top 3. Many of those names have made the list several years in a row. And for boys, Noah was the most popular name for the 6th consecutive year. Liam was second, followed by Theodore. Oliver, Jack, Henry, Benjamin, Lucas, Mohammed, and Leo were also in the top 10. Ian's a good one, just saying. It's no doubt a busy time of year, especially for Santa's postal elves who are working round the clock to make sure Santa writes back. Canada Post says millions of letters have been sent to the North Pole from kids across Canada, and all that were mailed by December 8th with the Ho 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 postal code will get a response. Last year's postal strike paused the magic, but this holiday season the elves are back on the job. And Santa Claus, who is clearly a very, very busy man right now, got a tour of Copper Cliff Saturday night as the greater Sudbury area community hosted a small parade. The world's jolliest man and his friends wound their way through the community, spreading a little Christmas cheer. Awesome to see. That's our newscast this Tuesday night. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Good night.